Hey, Washington wins. Washington wins. Psych. We got our ass kicked. But hey, you know what I'm saying? Times will get better coming around the corner, man. So hey, Dallas loses. Dallas beats what? Start all over. Fuck, I fucked up.
We're live, baby. We're live.
Hey, Dallas.
Take
wins.
2.
That sucks. Fuck Dallas. On the next Command This Podcast.
That's right, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the show. We're back. It's Monday. It's a Monday morning. We are morning today. Straight up.
And if you're depressed about the game, man, you know House of Dragons was still good.
Yeah, haven't watched it yet. Still behind.
Crazy
on that episode, but we'll get to it. But yeah, we lost 25 to a big fat 10. That was your boy Dev on the intro. I'm Steve. And we got Phil here for the audio crowd, but that's okay. That's live television, man. That's what we do. That's what you're gonna get over here, man. Life ain't perfect, and that's what we like to show. For show,
like this team.
That's right. Like we thought they were gonna be, man. I fell for the hype, hook, line, and sinker. Let's hope they turn it around. But
we will not.
Yeah, I mean. We'll see. But real quick, I'll start with you, Phil. How you feeling, man?
Well, for the second week in a row, we waste a pretty good defensive performance. That's what overshadows these games. Is like we spent especially week 2 just complaining about the defense, right? Week 3, we complained about the defense until we took a step back and went, oh, wait, they actually weren't bad. They just had one horrific quarter, but 3 quarters of good defense. But, if you told me, if you look at the stats, we held Dallas to 62 yards rushing.
Sure did.
We outgained them. We dominated time of possession by 6 minutes. Plus, we only allowed 2 sacks. Felt like a lot more.
And we have more yards.
We had more yards.
We have more first downs too.
We had 142 rushing yards.
We were better on third down than them.
Phil, you said the same thing last week versus the Philadelphia game. Imagine if I told you these numbers. Remember that?
Yeah.
The same thing. We held the Eagles to a very low yard amount of rushing.
Here's the thing. Riddle me this. We used to complain that 2 things happened. We would get gashed in the run and tight ends would eat on us.
Hasn't happened.
That hasn't happened. But now we're back to having an anemic offense. And it all starts up front. That's my problem. All right? It starts up front. And when I say up front, I don't just mean the line. I just mean also the man leading the charge by calling the plays, Scott Turner, who I am now officially on the fire Scott Turner bandwagon.
I am not.
I am. He is trash. He cannot stick with what's working because he has to get his shit in. All right? If anyone ever watches professional wrestling, there's a thing you do. There's a thing you call when a wrestler decides that he's got a hot dog a little bit. It's called, I got to get my shit in. Even if he's losing. Even if he's scheduled to lose the match. I got to get my shit in. Right? That's Scott Turner. Scott Turner just can't call a game to win. I got to get my shit in. I got to get all I got to get all the plays that I want to run.
Sound like you're calling Scott Turner Scott Steiner.
I'm calling, no. Steiner could wrestle before he got on roids. But anyway, but it's like hey, Scott, we're really whooping their ass running the ball.
Let's pass it in.
Yeah.
And so it's like, all right, cool. Quote Hulk Hogan, that's not going to work for me, brother. That's how Scott Turner is.
Hey, what's up, Marcus? Welcome to the show. Go check out Sports
Mark.
U2 on Facebook.
Yes, Marcus, I'm well
Marcus
aware of that.
said, Ron Rivera gave him a 4-year contract extension.
Yeah, he's
And
not
you know
going anywhere.
what? 6 of the first 8 quarters this season, I felt that he had earned it. I was like, oh my God, this guy's finally matured. He gets it. And then in the Eagles game, he totally regressed.
Man, I don't know. Like, I'm going to put it this way. I really do think this too, man. I think that if any team in the NFL played the Cowboys and Eagles back-to-back with 3 offensive linemen out, man, they're going to lose.
Oh, yeah, it's bound to happen. The problem is we're expecting too much when
we did the
gonna be a
schedule
terrible product.
record show. I had these 2 losses in it. The only loss that I have that I think I had as a win was a Lions game, right? That's the only game I feel like, man, we were supposed to win that game when I looked at the schedule. I expected us to lose to Dallas and Philly, at least one of them twice.
We could have beaten both of these teams.
Man, we could have, but nobody wins with 3 offensive linemen out that start against those 2 teams. I don't care if
you
the Rams
scheme around that, Dev.
Man, there's no way you can scheme around 3. Like, think about this. If you're in practice all week, you're practicing on all these plays you're going to run for the week, and then those 3 guys are there. And then game day, they're not there. So now you're doing elaborate plays where they're pulling and all this shit.
We knew they weren't going to be there.
I mean, I don't know if you knew that Schweitzer was going to get injured that game, and then Cosby was going to break his hand. You know,
Cosby, okay. I'll give you Cosby because he got hurt in the Dallas game.
I'm talking about the Philly and Dallas. We knew Schweitzer wouldn't play in Dallas, but we didn't know Philly. That he got hurt during the Philly game. You know,
no, he didn't.
Yeah,
no, he didn't. He didn't play in the Philly game.
Yes, he did.
I'm sorry, he did. He was playing center. That's your first problem.
Right.
Because we had 2 centers hurt.
Right. 3 centers hurt, actually.
Yeah, 3.
Yeah, he's the 4th. That's what I'm trying to say. Nobody can win, especially a team that already isn't that good. You know, it ain't like we're the fucking Chiefs. The Chiefs would have lost against those 2 teams. Those 2 teams they would have lost against if they didn't have 3 starting linemen.
It would have been competitive.
It would not have. Man, the Chiefs right now missing 3 offensive linemen would have lost. They lost 1 offensive lineman and got killed by the Colts. And they ain't won a game since.
They get killed by the Colts. They gave that game to the Colts.
Yeah, because they were injured. That's what I'm trying to say. If you are injured and have 3 guys out on the line, you're not going to beat these teams.
3-1 right now. I don't want to hear
the next 3 games we got like the Bears, Tennessee, and Houston. That's how you know we're sorry if it still happens.
Right.
You know, and that's what I'm trying to worry about. I'm not really look, man, it sucks to lose to these guys, especially Dallas. They're rivals, and it's a bigger loss than a regular loss to us because it's Dallas. But let's just be honest. Dallas, if Dallas had 3 offensive linemen out, we'd have whooped their ass too. 3 offensive linemen. If they had 3 offensive linemen out, we would have whooped their ass too, man. So I'm not that concerned about it as everybody else. Now, there were some things I didn't like. I wish the play calls had been different. I agree with everybody. We could run the ball. I don't know why we didn't. But again, you have to eventually pass, man. You can't just run every play. This guy couldn't even. They're talking about, well, he didn't even throw any bailouts. Well, they were sitting on anything short because they knew the pass rush was going to get there. They weren't even guarding anything really deep. They were just manning everything deep. That's how come he was throwing up his back foot. He was throwing on point to McLaurin a few times, and dude just made plays. But I'm like, man, he's throwing up his back foot, falling down, throwing those. I don't know.
He's doing that because the rush is in his face. I don't want to hear.
I don't know.
I don't know what the ball too long.
I don't know what everybody wants Wentz to do, bro. I don't know what they want him to do. Like, I'm not blaming it on the line. I'm not blaming it on Wentz. It's definitely Wentz doesn't help himself by holding the ball, but you already knew he holds the ball. It just doesn't make any. It just didn't. I think the next 3 games will be telling, man. The next 3 games, if we go in there and look like we did against Philly and Dallas in the next 3 games, then I'll get on that bandwagon and get rid of some of these guys, man. But until then, they're better than us, man. Philly's better than us, and Dallas is better than us, especially with no Chase Young, with no Robinson, and we have 3 offensive linemen playing against 2 of the best pass rushing teams in the league. Just respect it, man.
Yeah.
I don't think the sky's falling, man, like everybody else does. I don't think, oh my God, we're not going to win any more games. We're going 1-20. or whatever. I don't think that's going to happen, man. I think we're going to go around. We're going to win some games, and then we're going to win some games we probably shouldn't. You know, Jacksonville's looking like one of those games. Jacksonville's at home right now. Like, how did we lose to them?
Why is it that
think about that?
The minute Del Rio brings this defense into something that's competitive, Scott Turner has just decided that he is going to. The offense we've seen the past 2 games isn't even the same offense we saw against Jacksonville. Against Jacksonville, that pocket was moving left, moving right. It was doing everything to mitigate the rush.
That's because that pocket also had 3 starters that were supposed to be starters in there.
Yeah.
I wonder if you can't run those. Like some guys can't pull. Some guys can't reach, grab, and stuff like that on the line. Some guys can't make the same blocks.
Hold on. If you can't pull, you should not be a guard in the NFL.
I get it, man. But would you rather see Rex Schweitzer pulling from guard, or would you rather see Trey Turner pulling from guard?
I don't have to worry about Trey Turner. Now we got to wonder if Sadiq Charles can pull.
Man, Sadiq Charles played better
than Trey Turner. Yeah.
By the way, Marcus,
talk about something I never saw happening.
I rewatched the game. Noel did not play bad last game, man. Like he had like 1 or 2 times he got through on him a little bit on pass rushes, but he didn't play bad. And that game against Philly, man, he had like 1 big pass rush up the middle who didn't make it home. Other than that, he was probably our better lineman the last 2 games. I know it don't seem like when we look at the totality, but Noel hasn't been as bad as the other guys. Noel's serviceable.
Marcus says the only thing is Norwell and Turner are backup linemen, but other teams with win with backup linemen. That's true. They do, but not 3.
Who ever thought that the linchpin to this offense functioning was Chase Rouillet?
Yeah, center. I mean, a lot of teams like that. I said it before.
Last year, bro.
I didn't think he was that impactful, like him personally. The position,
seen it last year when he was out. By the way, we got to find another center, bro. This ain't working, man. He's getting paid a whole lot to not play. He hasn't played, 2 or 3 years he gets hurt on IR, 3 straight years? It's 3.
Aaron, welcome to the show, brother.
Last year was a broken bone. That's different.
Man, look, dog, we got to find a starting center next year, bro. That ain't working, man. 3 straight seasons he ended up on IR, man.
We've been outscored like 56-0. We fall behind and can't come back. The downfield threat isn't respected. They pin their ears back, cover the short throws, and bring it. We had depth and let it go. We have no depth. Yeah, we'll talk about that here in just a few minutes, Aaron. That's a good point. Yam in Japan, welcome to the show. He says, good morning, miscreants. Yam. Tuning in from YouTube, our buddy Yam.
Oh, yeah.
Marcus says, I blame Ron Rivera. He could have restructured some contracts and put a better line together for Wentz. He's in a no.
Ron doesn't handle contracts. God damn people.
Hey, they could have definitely restructured Wentz, but anything you restructure Wentz becomes guaranteed.
Yeah,
you gotta blame Marty Hurney and
Martys,
Martin Mayhew,
the co-managers. All right, so let's get into the recap here. So as you guys know, we lost
a year to be a 3rd, 4th running back when Robinson comes.
Yeah,
that's a lot of weird shit. Like, I mean, y'all, I know nobody wants to say this, but McLaurin's getting paid $24 million also. No one's saying anything about that. It's like, I don't know, man. There's a lot of crazy shit that goes on.
Yeah, but it's not like
I actually called that because I said that Terry was because of the fact we had Dotson out there. Now with Dotson out, you're probably going to see Terry get more targets.
Man, I like Dotson. What? He's out.
So Dotson has a hamstring injury. He might be out for a few games.
He said it was a cramp. I seen his Twitter. He's cool.
Yeah. The players love to downplay shit.
Yeah. Okay, let's get into the recap real quick. So the game started off. Phil already kind of gave a rundown of some generic numbers, but 3-0 in the first quarter was the only score that happened. Going into the second quarter, another field goal from Brett Mayer, who was just fantastic for them. 6-0. Going into after that score, Carson was struggling mightily. The entire offense was struggling mightily, and then he was able to rally back. And if you guys remember, he hit Jahan Dotson on that 10-yard kind of like a fade route where Jahan just went up and got it. Fantastic throw, fantastic catch, great play. He kind of needed that throw right in the middle of all his struggling. So with 7-6, we're actually up. And then 6 minutes after, we give up a 75-yard drive, 15 plays, 6 minutes long. A 9-yard pass to Michael Gallup from Cooper motherfucking rush. So it's 12-7. Third quarter, they come out with a field goal. 15-7, and then we have another field goal, 15-10. Going in the fourth quarter, it was the Dallas show. CeeDee Lamb with a 30-yard pass, and then Brett Mayer with another field goal, and it ends up being 25-10. I mean, it wasn't the best. I mean, it wasn't.
I feel good until the fourth quarter.
Yeah, I'm with you, Phil. It wasn't. There were some explosive plays we gave up. I mean, Cooper Rush.
Man, we gave up some penalties.
Yeah, so I'll go over that right now.
Offensive line play and the ability to not shoot yourself in the foot. And by the way, man, they were holding us like they were holding. Montez Sweat had at least 3 sacks. I counted that they wasn't pulling this jersey from behind. They never called. And the pass interference on McLaurin is egregious, especially when you call that bullshit when on Juice. That was bullshit. Yeah. They've been doing that all game, grabbing our receivers, going over the middle. I mean, but you should not expect to get those calls in Dallas, man. No. You're gonna get that home cooking at Dallas. I get it. That's why I'm not hanging my hat on those penalties. But those offensive linemen should be ashamed, man. They should all be bringing fruit snacks into Wentz all week, man. This is bullshit, dude.
Fruit snacks.
Man, they were just turning around. There was one where Turner turned the opposite way. The dude was running right at him. He turned the opposite way and was blocking another fucking Washington Commander player. Like, what the fuck is going on, bro? Like, it don't make sense. Like, some of the stuff is nonsensical, man. I got like a freshman in college football education as far as playing football goes, man. And hell, I know fundamentals of playing a fucking lineman. Block the motherfucker in front of you. That's all you got to do. Minimal, you got to block the guy in front of you.
At a bare minimum. I mean, Carson Wentz, 25 for 42, 170, 1 touchdown, 2 interceptions, 2 sacks, QBR of 23.
Holcomb is shit juice, bro.
Cooper Rush was 15 for 27, 223, 2 touchdowns.
He should have had like two interceptions on that. If he had 2 or 3 those interceptions on there, man, everybody wouldn't be talking about how good Cooper Kupp was. That's how short a game of inches that football is, man. Yeah, it's crazy.
Dominic Rhino, thank you for joining me from YouTube. Said I pray for one thing this weekend, and that was for y'all to beat the Cowboys. Yeah, I guess we couldn't do it. Hey, Dominic, please let us know what team you are from. I'm guessing an Eagles fan or a Giants fan. I'm just guessing. I'm sorry we let you down.
We didn't let him down, Steve. God let him down. He didn't pray to
That's
us.
true. That's true. You didn't pray to death. You know,
you might be going to the wrong church, Dominic.
Yeah.
Hey, I don't know.
G-Man, hey. What's up, brother? How you doing? It's F you fellas. Hail to the W. Yeah. I didn't know if I don't think I heard you on Sheehan show today, but I don't listen for a few minutes, man. I have a lot of time. I didn't know if you made it on there today or not. Dominic said this game was more winnable than last week. Yeah, Paulie always calls into the Sheehan show, man. I can always tell his voice as soon as he answers. Marcus said, my release list, Chase Rouillet, Kendall Fuller, and William Jackson. Yeah, they had bad games, and check this out.
I'm agreeing with that, man.
Dominic says Diggs holds on every play. What else do you expect? He either gets that or gets burnt. They showed a stat, if you guys saw it, that Trevon Diggs has given up. Was it 1,600 yards?
Yeah.
In total yards from scrimmage. It's just because he's like a home run. It kind of reminds me of what D'Angelo Hall was in his early career. Like home run, either I'm gonna intercept it or I'm gonna get burnt to a crisp.
He sits on every short route. That's why everybody was like, you can't throw the quick outs and short routes because they're sitting on those because they know their pass rush is going to get there before they can get the long one off. Yeah. That's how come you seen those passes to McLaurin. He was open.
That one play, McLaurin was open on the left. Both corner,
of them were open.
And Carson just was probably a foot short on that ball, just a foot short. But Trevon made a great play on both plays, man. It sucks. But let's talk about the penalties for a second. So we were penalized
way too much.
Total penalties, 11 penalties for 136 total yards.
It's a home cooking, bro.
I say you could probably get rid of like maybe 4 of those, of just bullshit ones, maybe 5. We were just some stupid penalties like false starts, offsides, holding, the William Jackson where he bumped the guy. I think he's probably like 7 yards off the ball. If he'd have just stepped up 2 more yards, you could have hit him as hard as you wanted. And then the holding they called on William Jackson was the same thing that Diggs did, and it didn't get called, where he wrapped his arm around Harry's hips. Exact same thing. But I don't know, frustrating. They had 4 penalties for 20 yards, and I don't know if you said it, Phil, or you said it, Deb. You just can't win with 11 penalties. It's impossible
Right.
freaking win.
You're already supposed to lose anyways with 3 offensive
And like
linemen
Dominic
out,
said, and you said it, Phil, the game was winnable. They were 5 for 15 on third downs. We had 17 first downs. They had 15. We had 297 total yards. They had 279. So it's not like this was they were offensive juggernauts just blowing us out. Look at everything we did to shoot ourselves in the nuts, and it still was statistically that close. That's just, I don't know, man. It's really hard it's frustrating. But that being said, that's the recap. Real quick, let's go on. I'll start with you, Phil. Overreaction Monday. What is it? What is your overreaction? Lay it on us.
Well, it's not that Scott Turner should be fired because that's just a reaction. An overreaction would be something that's probably irrational. My overreaction is I don't have an overreaction to this game. I have an overreaction to this fan base. Because people who want Heineke in there right now, here's my I guess you'd call it overreaction. I don't think it's that irrational to say this. If you want Taylor Heineke to be the starting quarterback the rest of this season, all right, I want you to take a drive. I want you to take a drive to the southern end of D.C. I want you to get on the Beltway. And I want you to stop about halfway over the Woodrow Wilson Bridge, all right? And then I want you to climb out of your car. I want you to go to the edge of that bridge. I want you to stand on the edge of that bridge. And then I want you to see how much of a long jump you can make off that bridge and into the Potomac.
All right. Tell us how you really feel.
Seriously.
Dev, give us your overreaction Monday. Overreaction, man. Be over.
Wentz is garbage, I think. I think it's an overreaction.
Yeah.
I think Wentz is just average like what he was before the year started. He's average to good. He's got to be blocked. He's got to have a clean pocket, man. Unfortunately, man, it's hard to get a clean pocket with one lineman out in today's NFL. But I think that, like I said earlier, we play Houston, Texas, or Houston and Tennessee and the Bears, not in that order, but in the next 3 weeks, I think. That's going to be where you see. They're not as adept at the pass rush as Philly and Dallas or even Jacksonville, for that matter. And I think that we have a better chance of holding up against those guys and running some of the things we want to see ran by Wentz. And we'll get a clearer picture of who he is at that point. You're not going to survive against those good teams with defense with those linemen out, man.
Right.
And you can't even bring the same pressure because you don't have your defensive guy on the other side that's supposed to wreak havoc on the other team. Yep. So a lot of things are going against us. I'm not making excuses for these guys. They're fucking up fundamentally, the coaches and the players, man. But we definitely need to see what we can do with a competent offensive line because it all starts up front, man. Like I see it's. I don't know if you guys watch any of the all 22s of the last games, but it seems like they're telegraphing the play action. Our linemen are standing straight up on play action. You're not even selling it because as a defensive back, that's what we read. If the linemen stand straight up, it's a pass. If they run forward at all, it's generally a run. The good teams run forward just enough to sell the run fake. Well, it seems like we're standing hiking. They're standing straight the fuck up. I've seen Norwell do that in the first 2 games and get his ass handed to him.
Yeah.
Just standing straight the fuck up. When they say hike, standing straight up, the lowest man wins, man.
No, you're right.
It's just some fundamental things, man. I think we have to work on it. And like maybe that's what Phil's talking about, man. That's coaching. It's not just calling the right plays. It's putting guys in position to make the right plays and also teaching them the fundamentals and having them go out there and execute it. If Holcomb, man,
not to be taught fundamentals at this point.
Holcomb, I'm not mad at you for giving up that touchdown pass to Gallup because you shouldn't be guarding a dude 15 yards across the middle of the end zone, man. I'm not mad at you for that. But what I'm more mad at is, dude, how come you can't get in your area fast enough, man? That bothers me, man. Why is Jamin Davis running up to the line to dictate pass rush and then jumping back in zone and the dude's 8 yards behind him deep. Why ain't he just running back on third down?
Yeah. There's a few times where I think it was 3 plays in a row. It was either Jamin, Cole, where it was CeeDee Lamb, CeeDee
Yeah,
Lamb,
CeeDee
CeeDee
Lamb.
Lamb. You remember that?
That can't happen. And what Ron told us is that he has the skill set to at least hold him up for a couple of seconds. True. But the point is, you also said that what's his name? Not Everett. What's the hard hitting dude?
Force.
Yeah, DeForest. Forrest. Yeah, Derek Forrest. They said he would be playing more in there and guarding that stuff. I didn't see Forrest in there on any of those plays.
No, I've seen Cam Curl doing it though.
Yeah.
Right.
Let's get some of these comments here real quick. Dom says, you got to do 2 things: win a turnover battle and have least penalties. Do that and you win. And we have it. I mean, I think we did it game 1. That was about it. Yam says, it's funny to hear this when last week all my Dallas friends and people on Twitter, all I did was complain about calls against Dallas, even though they won. But that's Dallas fans in general. And his overreaction is that I'm just plain apathetic at this point. I have 0 expectations for the season. That's true. Aaron said, hell no to Taylor. There we go. Shaka Zulu, thank you for joining. Said the defense gave them plenty of opportunity to score. That O-line is sorry, and the coaching is sorry. If I was Chase, I'd sit out this whole year. They ain't going nowhere.
Right. I mean, you got a good point. Look, if they're 1-8 and you want to bring Chase back, do you do it?
Is it worth it? Because he could easily re-injure himself.
He needs to play though. You can't hold a guy out the whole year. I mean,
I agree with you, Phil, but it is a conversation though.
No, it's not.
It's got to be a conversation, especially if I'm an agent. If I'm his agent, I'm like, maybe.
Well, and coming off an ACL,
right? Maybe you need to sit another year. In fact, demand a trade. I would. Yeah. I mean, honestly, in fact, hey, wouldn't you like to play in Dallas with Parsons? I would just tell him that, man.
Marcus says, mine is no overreaction. It's time to fire Ron Rivera, restructure the front office, and hire a young, bright coach and rebuild.
Hey, we hired a bright young coach before. His name was Jay Gruden.
Yeah, and I think Wentz isn't the same before his knee injury.
Ron was brought here to do 2 things, and 1 is change the culture, and 2 is to win. Unfortunately, I think it's in that order, and he's almost basically nailed the first one. So I think that he at least gets his 5-year contract in. I don't know about the staff.
We were before he came aboard.
Right. I'm just saying, man. Ron is not on top of being a 100 solid dude to most people's opinion. You know what I'm saying? Ron is a great face of an organization. He's excellent. Microphones. He likes to talk. You know what I'm saying? He says all the right things, man. Players like him. Media likes him. That should not matter to good teams, but it has to matter to Washington right now.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, that's the realistic view of it, man. Like, Washington's not in position Washington can't care more about wins than how the organization looks at this point. That's not where they are. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like the other teams, Philly and Dallas, they care more about winning than how your opinion of them is.
Shitty part is we were so mad about it when Vegas had us at like 4 or 5 wins for the season. We were like, oh, fuck that. Man, fuck that.
But what game have we lost that you saw we was going to win when you picked us to win 7 or 8 games? What game have we lost that you thought we was going to win? Just the Lions? Just the Lions, the only one I think that
I predicted better than 7-8 wins.
No, Phil said 10. And
yeah,
I'll say, hold that thought. That's a question at the end. That's a question for the end. Let's get to some of these comments. Shaka says, "Put in Hal." I don't want. If Ron makes a decision, first off, stay with Carson. That's my personal stance. But if he's going to move on to someone, move on to Hal. But here's a question: Do you move on to Hal?
That kid's career.
Do you move on? That's my question, Phil. Do you move on to Hal with that Swiss cheese O-line, or you know what? You got Carson under contract. He might only be here for 1 year. Run him into the freaking ground. Let him move on. I don't know. It's a rhetorical question.
Best case scenario, you get best case scenario, Wentz ends up being like a Pro Bowler or above average player. Yeah, that's a trade asset because $27 million for a starting quarterback ain't shit.
Yeah. Paulie's overreaction says Ron will lead us out of the dark.
I told you, y'all, man. It's the worst case scenario is for us to suck and Wentz be good. That's the worst case scenario. The best case scenario is that we suck and Wentz sucks. That's actually not the worst case scenario, man. This is better than being mediocre or getting the last seed in the playoffs. This is better. Y'all don't see it yet, but when it comes to the draft, when the draft season comes and we can cut him and throw $30 million out the books, then you'll see. You'll see. It'll be a wasted year, but you'll see. But if we end up sneaking in the playoffs or getting real close and not making it, and Wentz is the reason, then we're fucked forever, dog. We will be fucked the whole time he's here because we can't get no one else with him on the books. We'll have to draft perfect.
Going off your comment from earlier, Dev, you said the next 3 games will be telling. Marcus says Tennessee and Chicago has good defense. The key is the Houston Texans. How well do we match up?
They have good defenses, but they don't. We're not losing because people playing good defense as a whole. We're losing because they're getting to the quarterback. Pass rush singularly is the problem the offense has, man. It's not guys shutting them down and making plays and stripping the ball and all that shit. Is we can't get a pass off.
And that's my overreaction is that the offense is just chopped liver. It's done. Like I said, this is overreaction. Whether it's true or not, like I think it's fair to say to think that as an overreaction because it's not. It's the system. It's Scott. It's the offensive line. It's the scheme. It's Carson in some plays. Holding the ball too long or just missing a read. There was one read where he threw that interception where he had Logan Thomas wide open in the left flat. You just got to make those reads. I mean, this little stuff like that's what he has every right to be. Let's get some of these few more comments. Shaka says, put in house. Seems like all the other rookies and players on their second year doing hella good.
Who's good?
I don't know. Second year? Who's in their second year?
Fields is terrible. Lawrence is the Mrs. White. Lawrence basically lost the game against us. They should have won.
Yeah.
Like Lawrence lost the game against us. I mean, I don't know, man. I don't know what y'all want to see. I agree though. Like if the season's a wash, you need to see Harold. I get it. But I don't think the season's going to be a wash at the very end of the season. If it is, I think we'll be in it to the end because I think we're going to end up in a part of the schedule when we start getting healthier and it's not as rough on pass rush.
Right. Yam says, I'm still blaming Trev from Rep the District for his 17-0 dub season prediction video and Purdue sweatshirt cursing the team. Yeah, I'm going to text him. Yeah, we're going 17-0. I remember that shit. Don't ever say that. People had 13-4, 15 and 2. Come on, man.
Maybe we 17-0 in the multiverse or something, man.
10-7 was completely realistic at the beginning of the season. That was.
The problem is we have to go 9-4 the rest of the way to do it.
Aaron says, "How would get shell shocked? I want him healthy with a healthy line. Maybe week 10, we only have to give up a third instead of a second for Wentz. There's that 70% factor. I don't know if you guys read that all over Twitter.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
I was saying something to somebody about people holding out for contracts on here that the management will do that. Management will stop you from playing.
They did it to Antonio Brown, remember?
Yeah.
And Tom Brady said otherwise.
Yeah, man. That could be the deal, bro. Bullshit. That would be the deal. Would you not do it if we're mathematically eliminated by like week 12? Would you be like, I don't want to play this guy the rest of the year?
No, would the team do it from a business perspective? Right. He's going to be gone. I get to keep my pick. Should I do this if I'm the team?
Well, it shifts to a third.
I agree with you, Phil. It is loser shit. Or is it worth having one more win, not making the playoffs, and giving a second pick to the Colts and losing Carson Wentz?
Right.
Is it worth one more win?
Pick up to not have Carson Wentz.
What have we done with a second round pick anyway?
I agree. I agree with you.
This is Dev.
I'd rather lose that second than that third. I didn't think of it like that. You're right.
Yeah.
Fuck that second. I hope Wentz balls up. You play every snap with.
Dominic says, I can understand your offense struggling a little with Dallas defense. They're pretty good, but Dallas scoring 25, I hadn't seen it happening. Well, I think they scored 25 because our offense was shit. Like the defense was tired.
Exactly.
And they held strong for 3 quarters, and then it just slowly got away.
Dominic, guess what?
If your offense is competitive, it forces their offense to do things differently too.
Dominic, guess what? We have more yards than them on offense.
Yeah.
We have more yards. Killed them running. They couldn't do shit running at all.
Marcus said Rivera won't fire his staff. He's loyal. And Dev, you're right about Ron as a character. Yeah.
You can't fire.
Yam says the only reason they will move on from Carson is to keep that draft pick cap. I don't know. I think
what you got to pray for, Yam, is Carson getting hurt, man. I don't want that for anyone. That's the only way that dude's not standing.
I'm afraid because if Carson gets hurt, they'll put in Heineke. And if Taylor Heineke sees
he's gonna win 8 straight. He's gonna win 8 straight.
I may just give up.
Heineke can win 8 straight if they. He's gonna play bad all 8 of the games, but they're gonna
Heineke
win all
can't
8
even
of
win
them.
8 straight on Madden on rookie mode.
Man, remember when we thought before the season started, like we didn't have we're finally done with the quarterback controversy. We don't have to worry about it anymore.
No, this fan base will not allow it.
Wrong.
Goddamn Jay Schrader fans.
I
Habitual
knew
line
they
steppers.
didn't trade Heineke. I knew that was gonna happen.
Habitual line steppers. Dominic says, I'm guessing Dominic, because he's mentioned the Sixers, probably a Philly fan. So we thank you for tuning in. Says y'all should get a new young head coach. Hey, where are they? Who are they? Give some ideas. I think Ron Stain is full tenure.
Oh God, here we go.
He's only on
What's Lincoln Riley doing, man?
Eric Bieniemy's players hate him. They only play because they like Andy Reid, and Andy keeps Eric in check. This is, and I'm not pulling this out of my ass. This has been documented that he's extremely confrontational with his players, and they hate that shit. He's confrontational for no reason, just because he wants to be the loudest mouth in the room.
Yeah.
All right. That's the problem with Bieniemy. You can't bring in guys like that in a league like this, because he's going to lose that locker room real quick. The only reason that he has him now is because of Andy Reid.
Yam says he also chose 10-7. He feels dumb. I would feel dumb, man. That was like I said, that's a completely reasonable expectation.
Man, even if we were 10-7, the 7 losses would have been to Dallas or Philly. Like I'm trying to tell y'all, all your dreams can still come true, bro. It's not the weed talking.
Dev, hold the thought. I want to ask you guys at the end. Dominic says, you guys think you'll be in the wild card hunt? It's going to be real rough with Dallas, New York being 3-1, Philly 4-0. Well, funny you bring that up. I want to flash real quick. As of today, October 3rd, NFL strength of schedule comparisons.
Right. Oh, y'all know this.
All right. So you can see this as of October 3rd. So far, strength of schedule remaining. All right. Can you see it? Here we go. So we are sitting at 27. So we still have a relatively easier strength of schedule. It's not that bad.
What's it called? The DVOA or whatever?
No. This is just based on records and solely records of those.
See, I saw the DVOA before the season. They had us predicted to have the easiest schedule in the league, and I saw the DVOA.
We did.
Like
that was preseason
or whatever. I saw the one yesterday, and it said that we had the hardest.
Well, this is
now that the season started.
Strength of schedule played so far, and ours with the 8th. So according to this one, in record only, we started 8th, and now we're down to 27. But someone on Kevin Sheehan's show today also said the same thing you said, Dev, is we have we've played the hardest strength of schedule so far.
Right.
But maybe that's just because of their records or not. But anyways, I thought that was pretty cool. I just wanted to flash that. But Aaron says clock management's a joke. I think we're out of the race.
Our division has never been decided by the first quarter of the season.
Yeah. Hey,
in the
Phil.
last 30 years.
Yeah.
Marcus says, if Heineke wins 8 straight, I'm sending you a Heineke jersey.
Man, that shit would happen. You know that shit would happen, Marcus. You know that shit would happen, though, right?
Yo,
like right now, I just said, well.
Here's the thing, Marcus. Do that. Do that if it happens, because this is what's going to happen. We ain't going to win because of Taylor Heineke. We're going to win because Scott Turner's going to take the ball out of Taylor Heineke's hands like he did for 4 games straight last season, and he's going to put it in the hands of the run game because Jesus Christ, he knows that he can't win with Taylor Heineke, but he doesn't realize that you got to help out your current quarterback with that kind of a game plan as well. But he won't do that because Scott Turner thinks he's too smart for the rest of the room or something. All right. But I'm going to tell you this now. You send me that jersey, I will go on Facebook Live and I will go over to my chick's house. She has a chimenea and I will use it as kindling for the wood in there as I have a nice evening out on her front deck, drinking, smoking, and watching that jersey burn.
Why? Well, even if he just rips off 8 wins, you would do that?
I don't give a shit. Fuck Taylor Heineke.
I'm telling you, that's the kind of crap that would happen, though. Like, that's what, like, that would happen. They would put Heineke in and simplify the game, and then he would just be average, and they win 8 straight because they probably play guys that aren't, they'll play 8.
Because they'll change the game plan to the one we should have been running Wentz this whole time.
Like, if Wentz got COVID today, couldn't play next week, man, he went in and won, would you take him out? And then you got to think about, well, that's not really fair to Wentz because his next games would be.
Let's also remember something, all right?
Texans. I'm just, that would happen.
Two of those 4 wins everybody likes to reflect on, we scored a whopping 17 points each game.
Yeah, hey,
real impressive offense there by Taylor Heineke. Ooh.
Yeah. Hey, Dominic, it said strength of schedule for Philly. It is that they had the easiest strength of schedule remaining just off record alone. And strength of schedule played for Philly the 29th. So third from the easiest. So that's just off record alone. And it's just this one site based on records. I don't know. Aaron says, I was only saying that if we were out of it and the line is healthy, Taylor is garbage. Yes, I did butcher his comments. I do apologize. Yam says, we'll keep our second round pick and draft a guy from the Louisiana Mud Dogs that played 10 snaps over the seasons. That's a little bit of a Waterboy reference.
Draft another fucking guy that's no good anyways in the second round.
Yeah. And Yam says, I've been a fan since 83. The pessimism is too damn high. So on that note, let's move on
too, by the way.
Let's talk about that. Good, bad, ugly, great. For those watching, put it in the chat. Dev, we'll start with you. Go ahead.
Good is our running game. Bad was not sticking to the running game. Okay. Ugly was our offensive line. And great was, wow, it's hard to find a great. We got the best punter in the league.
Yeah. That's Tress for president.
Awesome. He needs a lifetime contract. That's the only good thing we have going this year. By the way, while we're on this, I still can't figure out why Sly's not getting any field goal attempts. It's something going on.
He made his first field goal attempt. That first field goal.
But why wouldn't he go for 3
he wouldn't got first down?
Why didn't he let him kick that field goal instead of
the last game where we all thought like
40 and 15? Why did he go?
Is he injured? Remember we thought he was injured last game?
Yeah,
I don't know, but that dude's jacked. You seen?
I wonder why he didn't go for it on 4th and 15 yesterday. That's weird,
man.
So I mean, it seems like something's going on with Sly, or you don't have any confidence in him.
Yeah.
I don't know, but definitely I liked our punt team. It was great.
Okay. Go ahead, Phil.
Dev stole a good amount of my thunder there. Good. Tressway's ability to change field position. All right. Bad was our offensive line play. Ugly was our offensive play calling. Great was Jahan Dotson continues to justify his first round pick status. Didn't have a lot of catches. A lot of balls just weren't getting out there. But that touchdown grab was beautiful. Well-placed ball, by the way, off of a back foot throw by Carson Wentz. That's why you have guys like that, because he can make that throw. So, I mean, look, I shouldn't say that, actually. I'll give it a second. I'll give a second a great. Actually, that should be a good as well as with Tressway. Great. When we ran the ball, we were running the ball forward. We were getting positive yardage. I don't know why people have this aversion to the idea of 3 yards in a cloud of dust. It wears opposing defenses down. And then you torch them with the pass. This goes back to the ugly. None of our runs built towards play action. Our play action did not match our runs. I swear to God, I thought that Jay Gruden was doing the play calling. Because that was a Jay Gruden thing. He would call pass plays that did not, play action pass, that did not match the run game at all. At all.
Yep.
And Scott Turner's doing the same thing.
I don't get it.
You have to build off of this. Your run game sets up the passing game.
Yeah.
And I don't know why this is such an escapes this guy. We have enough talent on offense to run a competent game plan. The problem is we don't have a competent game plan in place. Fire Scott Turner. I'm on that wagon now. care
He
that
just
Ken
got extension. He
Zampese
ain't
hasn't
going
done
nowhere.
shit on that level before. He's got to be better.
They're still.
But then again, he's another son of an offensive guru. All right. Hopefully, he's better than this one. Hell, I'll tell you what, fire them all. Bring back North Turner.
Scott's still running the first 15 plays from Jacksonville.
Shit, the first 15 plays from Jacksonville were dope.
Hey, we're dope.
He has not even touched
I
the
know.
Jacksonville plays.
It's not. I'm just joking. Curtis Samuel's not getting the ball, not in the backfield. Shotguns. What's up, bro? How you doing? Our Green Bay Packers friend in Chicago. Aaron says Tressway is all we have. Our returner is garbage. Also, Dax Milne.
Oh yeah, I haven't figured that out yet. Like, why are you not just putting Curtis Samuel back there or Brown?
I need Dax Milne to do something. Like, just do something. You've done zero. You've actually done negative.
I predicted Dax Milne would be better than Diami Brown this year, though. I was right.
Oh, and Dev, you had me hyped, man. I thought he was really going to be good for us.
Still better than Diami Brown.
It's not like he hasn't fumbled. He hasn't fumbled.
Stafford, man.
He's just making terrible decisions. Like, he's calling no fair catches when he should call fair catches. He's returning when he shouldn't return them. I don't know what it is, man.
He's
sacked
plucky.
like 3 straight times.
He's a high motor guy.
Yeah, he's got that.
He plays with moxie. By the way, these are all terms used for unathletic white guys.
He's quick. Marcus said, "Our running game, good. Our running game, bad. Wentz, ugly. Jackson, Fuller, O-line, and coaches. Yeah, that's true.
I'm not even so mad at Fuller as I am at Jackson.
Yeah, Jackson.
Yeah, I think Jackson might have. I think his back's messing with him. I don't think he should be playing anyways, but he hasn't been playing well.
I don't know what happened because he played extremely well in Cincinnati.
He plays well. He's played here in spurts well. I think he's going to be. I think Jackson's going to be one of the guys that turn it around. You know what I'm saying? I don't ever see him just getting blown all the way out the water unless he just miscommunicates. Like, I don't put that one touchdown pass by Lamb on him either. By the way, what was Cam Curl doing, man? That was clearly a quarter.
He gave it. He gave up the coverage,
right,
and thought he had protection in the back.
I'm gonna play. Can we rewind for a second? Someone said this, and I've been trying to explain this to people all day on Twitter. And Aaron just asked the question. DeAndre Carter was good. We let him go. He was great returning punts, right? There's a reason why DeAndre Carter was not re-signed. DeAndre Carter was not going to get any playing time as a wide receiver with all these other wide receivers we got.
Yeah,
he wanted to go compete for a third receiver slot. He was given that option in Los Angeles with the Chargers. He did not want to just be a returner. Now, he actually lost that competition. He's wide receiver 4. Keenan Allen got hurt. He gets bumped up to 3. He's getting that playing time that he wouldn't see even with Jahan Dotson hurt. He's still behind, he's still behind guys like Terry and Curtis and,
I don't know, man.
Cam Sims.
They put DeAndre in like with those guys in. They throw him in the backfield.
He's got 11 catches for 66 yards, 15.1 average, and a touchdown. So
they're playing him because Keenan Allen's hurt.
Yeah, because Keenan Allen is hurt. But yep, I get your point, Phil. That's very valid.
But people just don't understand this concept, and it bothers me.
Yeah. Yam says, I think this is the most frustrating talent in so many positions, but we suck.
Man, I don't think we're going to suck forever. I think it'll turn around. I think it'll turn around in the next 3 weeks or so. If it doesn't at that point, then you got to make some changes. But I think the competition, as far as pass rush goes, is going to be a lot easier in comparison to what we've seen. We don't have to look at Parsons or Fletcher Cox for at least another few weeks. You know what I'm saying? Like that's the moment where you can kind of run some things you've seen in the first week or two, maybe.
Yeah. Aaron says if we fire Turner, who takes his spot? I don't know. Like, I don't know. It's not Ron, because you got to have an offensive mind. I don't know who you put in there. It's usually the quarterback's coach. Usually, Kenzie. That would be what Kenzie.
They're not firing that guy, by the way. He just gave him a 2-year extension.
He's not. Ron said. Marcus said Ron may keep Dax because maybe he's dating his daughter. We all said it before. He's got some nudes of Ron. I think that's what it is.
I like Dax. I don't think he should be cut. I just don't think he should be running special teams plays back, man. Like, I don't understand. Like, why would you have Curtis?
Melvin Harmon.
We have Curtis back there.
Yeah.
Actually, I'll tell you what. When Brian Robinson comes back, don't be surprised if you see.
Because remember in the preseason, they said Antonio was going to return kicks. He was our primary kick returner, remember?
But they took him off of that because they had to give Gibson RB1. You
That's
don't
right.
want to.
That's right.
Because then
There's
if
a lot of
Gibson gets
dominoes gonna
returning
fall.
kicks and he's RB1, your starting running back is J.D. McKissick, who is good, but he's not RB1 material.
By the way, another contract where a guy got $5 or $6 million a year and he's like going to be the fourth running back at some point. It's kind of weird. And I know nobody knew that, but it's like, man, you went out and paid a backup running back, which is the third down back, really $5 million a year. And what are you going to do when he goes to fourth running back? And then eventually it seems as if Gibson is really going to be the third down back. Because what are you going to do with that guy?
Yeah, he's got 2 more years on the contract.
Right.
Dominic says, what would you think about getting the Lions OC as a head coach? He's done a good job so far. This year could be interesting hire.
I'm not talking about head coach replacements at all until at least the end of this season. I said I would give Ron 3 full years. I'm giving him 3 full years.
Yeah.
But Scott Turner can go.
He's not going, dog. Ron, there's no way.
He can go.
I can see a situation where Ron goes to the front office.
He can, but he won't. Hey, my good, bad, ugly, great. So my good, and no one's talking about it, Antonio Gibson holding the rock. The dude's been solid. I know he's only getting about 13, 14 carries a game. He has not had one issue fumbling the ball. And
do you feel like Washington doesn't trust him? Is it why maybe they're not running?
We said this last week. I don't think they do yet. And so far he's proven them wrong. He's been holding no fumbles. No fumbles. I like it. That's my good. Bad. And Phil, you kind of touched on it, but I'm going to expand it a little further. Is the lack of Scott Turner finding ways to build on plays. You talked about play action and we ran the ball a lot, but our play action didn't build off what our runs were doing. We kept running a lot of stretches left and right, and they were working. But not once did I see a fake stretch boot.
You did one.
To a pass play.
You did one.
But I'm saying they were all right up the middle. Yeah, we were barely running up the middle, and every play action pass was Gibson right up the middle. Like, come on. It's not difficult. If you're running to the edges, do boot. Naked, do a boot. It's not hard. That's what my frustration was. And Phil, you said it, and I just wanted to expand on that. Ugly, I'm going to say I was torn between William Jackson and the penalties, so I'll just throw them both out there. And then great, BSJ, man, St. Juiced. He played. I think he played great. I really liked watching him all over the field, man. I think he's finally he's. I know we talked about him the first game wasn't that much, but he's slowly coming on as a good player. So that's my good, bad, ugly, great. Now we're going to go on the game balls. Can
I tell you some breaking news?
Yes. What you got?
This kills the narrative they're trying to revive on Twitter.
Okay.
Breaking is from @ML Football. Colts owner Jim Irsay has grown impatient with GM Chris Ballard and head coach Frank Reich per source. And if both of them are on the hot seat, and if there's not a major turnaround from the team soon, they'll both be gone. As Peter King noted, the same applies to quarterback Matt Ryan.
Dude, that Irsay's a fucking cancer, man.
I'm telling you, Irsay was the only one who said anything like all that shit about Wentz. All the players backed him up, but people want to go with the Irsay quotes because, hey, it helps justify any bullshit you can say about the current quarterback. Our players seem to be fine with our current quarterback.
Yeah, that they do.
Our coaches, our players. Matt Ryan, first of all, is old and brittle, and he was never mobile to begin with, and now he's even slower. So I don't want to hear that. That should go away. You want to criticize Wentz for play this year, fine, but take that Colts shit and throw it out the window because this proves that whole deal with the Colts was an aberration.
Yeah. And so far, like Dom said, Matt Ryan, 66%, 1,100 yards, 5 touchdowns, 5 interceptions, rating of 85. So he's done. Yeah, Colts fans are like, oh, we're so happy to get rid of Carson. Matt Ryan done shit for you guys. So
I want to find out when the league's going to investigate the hookers that Jim Irsay hired.
Yeah, the hookers and blow. Yem says, if you're right, Phil, I'll be happy. I'll happily eat that crow, but I don't have any faith in this staff.
He meant Dev, not me.
Or Dev, sorry. Paulie says, damn, 3 to 4 weeks changes need to happen now. Turner's not leaving until Ron leaves. Yeah, he's not going anywhere. I mean, we can hashtag the Twitter with the Twitter hashtag if we want, but
If Ron really wanted to get some heat off of him, he'd fire Scott.
No, it won't be Scott. You have to fire. It'll be Del Rio, but I don't think it'll be Del
Why
Rio.
would he fire the guy who's improved his
defense has-
I don't think he'll fire Del
course of the
Rio.
season?
Yeah.
I've never thought it was a. I think Del Rio's old fashioned.
Hey,
I don't.
Paulie
Del
makes a
Rio
good point.
changed that defense.
Turner's on the sidelines to get TV exposure for a head coaching job. The camera flashes over to Scott. I probably saw Scott about 6 times. When do you ever see the offensive corner that much? I don't know.
When it's a hot, young, offensive-minded guy.
That's kind of
And
funny.
that's what's going to happen too. He'll go to another place after we fire him, and then he'll be a
Remember,
great.
we thought it was going to be
genius.
the Raiders last year. Remember, he posted that picture of him in all black in the Raider Stadium when after John Gruden was fired and all that nonsense.
God, I wish it had happened.
And then deleted the tweet afterwards because wasn't he a coach there?
I bet you they almost had a deal in place and he jumped the gun.
Oh man,
He probably jumped the gun to come here because Ron told him he'd be the head coach when he leaves. I think Ron will go. I think Ron, worst case scenario, best case scenario, maybe for some, is that Ron goes to front office.
Yeah.
And I think Herney or the other Marty might be gone. The old
Herney. Phil, game balls, offense, defense. If you want to give them out, for those in the chat, give out your game balls.
Sure,
dig
absolutely.
deep for a game ball. Let's go.
I don't have to dig that deep for a game ball. Okay.
I'm still mine.
On offense, I am going to give a game ball to Jonathan Williams.
Okay.
5 carries, 48 yards. Now, everybody remembers the 23-yard run that he ripped off, but it also meant he had 4 carries for 25 yards, which is still a healthy average.
And he'll be inactive as soon as Robinson comes back.
Yeah, and then true. But hey,
We got practice for it next week.
It's proof that you get these guys going, they can make things happen. You know, I know we talked about Antonio Gibson, but hey, guys like Williams run the ball hard. I mean, I love those little those little runs inside the tackle where they gap the tackle on the guard right there through the 5 gap. And they run it through that way. I love those runs because they run them. It's such a quick hitter that they pull with that. And I wish they do that more because it works. We don't see it that often. Defensively, ain't much to do there.
There's one easy one, and the rest you got to dig.
There's not even really an easy one.
Well, yeah.
I'm going to give John Allen. He played like a man possessed.
That was the easy one.
Sack. He had a tip ball, and he had 5 solo tackles and 3 assists. I mean, he was stuffing the middle. He was, getting to the quarterback. He was doing what we want him to do. Deron Payne doing that too. That's why they couldn't run the ball.
Yeah,
Can't get rid of the ball. So those are my 2 game balls. Jonathan Williams, John Allen.
No. All right, go ahead, Dev.
Tressway. It's crazy, man.
Do you give him the offensive or defensive game ball?
That's
I
a
think
good point.
I think
He
a punter
can
is
go both
considered a
ways.
defensive player.
Yeah, defense and special teams.
Right.
But okay, what about offense?
Man. That's a good one. I guess we'll go to Dotson. He scored a touchdown, right?
He did. That was a damn good one too.
That's what I have to go with. The guy has great hands, man. Hopefully his hamstring holds up for next week.
Yeah.
That's a really hard one, man. I'm anxious to see who you got since you're third.
Bobby Wagner just trucked the fan ran on the field.
I got a question though. Did we even pass rush Jamin Davis last game?
I didn't see it too much in this game. The last 2 games we have. This game, I don't think I saw it.
Jesus, man.
Which is crazy because it was working.
What are you looking at, Phil? Man, I got excited about it. I'm watching the game too. I ain't seen shit happen.
All right, I'm watching this video. Someone just posted this. Dude's running. Some dude ran out the stands. He's running with one of those like smoke bombs, those smoke flares, and he's running down the field. He's at the 30, and then he tries to turn it up the sidelines in front of. And then Bobby Wagner just stepped out the field and trucked the shit.
So we got a streaker with a flaming thing out there.
Those are
not
the
a
best.
streaker. He's in shorts and a t-shirt, but Wagner just stepped out and just hammered dude.
Yeah, that's
Oh
the
my
best.
God.
That's the best.
Like that dude.
I haven't seen that. I'm watching the game live. I didn't see any of that. It's crazy.
It's probably on Twitter or Facebook because
It's on Twitter. It's in the one group chat.
Yeah, it's not going to make it live, but Yam says Ron just might dip altogether. He might be like, F this place and these fans. Ron's been through a lot, man. He's been through more than any coach should have to endure. I'm talking the name change, the rebrand, cancer, sexual harassment, all that and off the field nonsense. No coach should have to deal with any of that. He should only be worried about football and only football. And he's had his hands until we didn't even have GMs for a while. And then we didn't even have a team president for a while. Like Ron was hired before all those people. Like, whatever he wants to do, I respect the man. I got mad respect for Ron, whatever he wants to do. But Marcus said game ball offense. I agree with Phil. Jonathan Williams should have kept running him. Defense, Deron Payne. Yep. Aaron says John Allen. Yep.
Man, Jonathan Allen had like 6 tackles for losses and 4 quarterback.
He was everywhere.
I picked him, but he
was
had 4
everywhere.
tackles for 6
You
tackles
couldn't
for
pick him
losses
because
and
Phil
4
picked him.
hurries.
Because you had to get creative. You can't pick the
6
same person. That's why
tackles for losses, bro.
That's crazy, isn't it? I see 4.
It's insane. It's insane. I think that the running backs last week had like 8 point something yards a carry. I think they were like 2.1.
Yeah, I'm gonna go off the rails here. Yeah, Payne would be a good easy one, but I'm gonna go
Allen.
obscure. No, Phil already said Allen. I'm gonna do my air quotes. Think outside the box. So for offense, I'm gonna say Joey Slye just because he got his first field goal attempt and he made it, even though he missed extra point before.
Should have got 2 attempts.
And for defense, I want to say Effie Obata with an asterisk because, Deron Payne blocked the field goal, extra point, the 2-point conversion, if I'm not mistaken, the extra point. Effie Obata ran, grabbed it, but had he had the wherewithal to know, had I passed this ball back to my teammates, we could have ran it back to the end zone.
He didn't play football until just a couple years ago.
That's the asterisk. I'm not dogging him for that. But I wish he would have known because if he just fell on the ball, all he had to do was throw it up, and the ball. He had 3 guys behind it. It would have been 2 points for us.
I don't think he knew there was anybody behind him.
And yeah, who knows, right? I mean, at that point, you could just throw it backwards and hopefully that someone's going to grab it. But
honestly, when he blocked that, I was like, oh my God, we're going to win this game. Because I was like, that's the kind of stuff that just happens when you're losing. Did you end up winning the game?
Game of inches, man. What if we had got the block? The Allen came through and blocked the one up in the air and landed next to his foot on the last game. Like there's a lot of crazy
in the end zone when almost could have been. If he had just looked up a second early, he would have had a touchdown right in his own hands.
Right, like a lot of
should have, man. Almost. Yeah, Marcus said he did have a GM, Kyle Smith. That's right, interim GM. And they were released because we turned it into a coach-centric organization. And then Ron realized, I need somebody to do all this fucking paperwork and contract negotiating. And then came the Martys, the co-managers, if you watch The Office.
For all the we should have kept Kyle Smith. Kyle Smith took a lateral job. He's at the same he's still not a GM.
Yeah, he's like president or personnel.
Is he like the assistant to the general
same job
manager?
he had here?
Yeah.
Dwight Schrute.
Yeah, it says, I blame Ron for a name. I'm a fan regardless. I don't care about the name, but Commanders, when we've historically been losing just as bad. Yeah.
Right. You think they're going to fire that guy.
Sorry.
Y'all think we're going to fire that guy who has something to do with the name change? Ain't no way.
Yeah. Paulie said, game ball, special teams, my bottle, and he came through in the clutch watching Ron. Yeah, man, my 4 roses getting my 4 bottle of bourbon getting me through, man. Keeps it going.
I got a half a barrel of whiskey.
Yeah, you better
bourbon actually
share that shit. So as we start to wind this thing down, I got a couple questions for everyone in the chat and for those 3 on here. But when we do that, I like to put the background music that I got 5 on an instrumental by our man Dev. Hey, what is your new record prediction given everything you've seen a quarter through the season? And for y'all listening, Paulie, Marcus, Aaron, Yam, whoever else is on the net still, Dom, if you're listening, I know you're not a fan of our team, but we've been through 4 games. We've seen some good, we've seen some bad. What is your new record prediction given that we are now 1-3 with a lot more games to go? And Phil, I'll start with you first. You said 10-7 to start. Where do
I
you
did.
see us as of right now for the rest of the season?
Do you want the prediction from my heart, my head, or my creeping paranoia that the world is just falling apart because while I'm a Commanders fan, that happens?
No, not your heart, because that's emotion. Not your last one. I want it from your head, because that's the smart one with no emotion tied to this. I want the reality pick. It was 10-7. Where are you going from there? I know you're not going up. If it would help, I can say the rest of the teams. We have Tennessee.
8-9.
You said 8-9.
8-9. Okay, 8-9. Fair enough. Dev, who you got?
I'm still with 7-10 to floor. I think 9 and whatever can be the ceiling. Big floor, we win set 9. High ceiling, we hit. Floor, we hit 7. Ceiling, we hit 9.
Floor, okay. And just for the record, the remaining games: versus Tennessee at home, at Chicago, Green Bay at home, at Indy, Minnesota at home.
I think we beat Indy, and that gets Frank Reich and all them fired. I think that happened. I think Wentz goes to Indy. Wentz goes to Indy. Is it in Indy or in
It's in Indy. That was
we should wear black, especially wear black that game.
It's
wear
a late
black
game
that
too.
game.
425.
We're going to a funeral. You know what I'm saying? You got to wear black at a funeral, bro.
That's right. At Minnesota, Minnesota back at FedEx.
Lost.
Probably lose that one. At Philly.
Lost.
I wish we were playing Kirk on Monday night.
At Houston, I know.
Win.
Atlanta at home.
Win.
At the Giants.
Lost.
Bye week. Giants at home. So Giants 2 weeks in a row, basically.
We'll win one of those.
At San Fran.
Lost.
Home Cleveland. Home Dallas.
We'll win one of those. I'm saying, man, look, I'm all dependent on if we stay healthy. Like, I feel like we're going to have to get a lineman somewhere eventually down the line. Is Fisher available, somebody. But, both of those could be an L. Don't get it twisted. I think a lot of those games can go either way. But I'm saying the games that are winnable, I'm counting those as wins because they're winnable. Yeah. I'm not saying we're definitely going to win it. I think Green Bay is winnable. I don't think they're scored enough to make us scared of them. They should beat us. Green Bay should beat us. But it's a winnable game. Would you be real surprised if they didn't?
Yeah, I'd be surprised if we lost. Yeah. Marcus, thanks for joining, man. You said I know you got some tape review to do, but he said 4-13. That's fair. I'm gonna say
on out of here.
I said 8-9 to start. Maybe, I was convinced we could go 9-8, but I'm gonna say I'm torn between 6-11, 7-10. I'm really torn.
I'm going 7-10 or 9-8. Oh my! I think we're closer to 7.
You think so?
Only because I wonder if we're never going to get.
I gotta commit. I gotta commit. Hey, yeah, thanks for joining us, man. Shout out to you and Marcus. Gotta go for work. Appreciate you. I'm just gonna commit. I'm gonna say 6-11, man. I don't know. I said, I'm gonna go for the bottom.
San Fran can end up being 1-3 also, man. They have had a worse schedule than us. They've had a way easier schedule than us. And no one in San Fran is like crying about their coach getting fired.
Yeah. Let's go for the predictions. Yam says 7-10. Dom 6-7. 6 or 7. Said Atlanta's decent. Atlanta's a choke chop away from being 3-1. Yeah, that's true. Paulie says at this point, just win one game at a time. You're right. It is one game at a time, man. That's what it comes down to. Straight up. But hey, as we close things down, we just want to thank you for everyone that tuned in. Lots of people in the chat tonight. Paulie, Yam, Dominic, Marcus.
Yam.
Excuse me. Yam.
Oh, Yam.
Aaron Share on Facebook. Shotguns, our boy Cardero. Thank you for everyone for tuning in. We really appreciate you, man. This has been a tough one. This is our Monday mornings. No one never like to have a Monday morning. When I say morning, I mean MOURNING, man. We just want to have a time when we can do a victory Monday. We did it after the first week and it was great. We got the Titans coming up on
We thought Winston
Sunday.
Superman after week 1.
We sure did, man. We got the Titans coming up on Sunday, and we'll be giving you that game preview on Thursday. So with that, man, I'll go to shout outs. Dev, you got anyone to shout out, man?
Shout out to my GF. She is in Ohio, so I got the house to myself. I'm gonna do nothing.
OHIO.
Smoke weed in every room in the house. Fart.
Yeah.
On the kids' bed. I'm doing all kinds of shit where she's gone.
You're getting pink eye, man. Be careful. Just don't do it in their pillows.
Yeah, that's true. That's about all I'm doing. Got vacation this week. Relaxing.
It's funny because Steve's frozen right now, wiping his eyes with the
He's
pink
in there doing the.
Well, while we wait for him to come back, I'll give my shout outs. Shout out to Hogs Haven. That'd be funnier if Steve was here to hear me say that. They're totally sarcastic.
Tyler got to do what's his name's got to do the we was going 17-0, didn't he?
No, that was on Ref the District.
My bad.
No. I said some flagrant shit and everybody's like, no, you can't say that. No. But when have I ever shied away from saying some flagrant shit? Shout out to everybody who showed up tonight. I will say this. There's certain areas where we still have good conversation, good discussion. And one of those places where I've seen some of the most rational, reasonable discussion for the most part is in our comment section, right? So shout out to you guys, because without that, we just be talking to ourselves. I like seeing that in our comment section, even if I disagree with points and I get a little animated on here, I see a lot of decent points. I see a lot of thinking instead of feeling, and I like that. So shout out to y'all in the comments section. Marcus, Dominic, Yam, Gunny, Aaron, everybody. I cannot thank y'all enough for at least giving me, someone who unfortunately dives into the depths of hell with some of this fan base, you give me a place to sit here and have good conversation and get to see good comments with good thinking and good exchange. Shout out to all of y'all. Steve, you missed me saying a shout out to Hogs Haven, and you're muted. Shout out to Steve's microphone.
Shout out to Steve. He went to the multiverse. Dr. Strange Steve over here.
Steve, I don't know what's going on. You're zooming in and out. Your mic's not working.
Stephen Strange over here.
Shout out to Xfinity.
Yeah,
there you are.
I know. I'm sorry. My dog keeps hitting the power cable, the power strip. This is what happens when you go live. This is exactly what happens.
Hey man, you tell their dog. Tell your dog that I know Michael Vick. He's a close friend of mine.
Shout out to Steve's dog. Steve's dog is just this big, round, portly beagle. It's just a crotchety old man of a dog, but he's a dog.
Tell your beagle, Michael Vick don't care if you're a pit bull, poodle, or beagle. Any man can get it.
Anyone gets it. Anyone gets it. Oh man. Yeah, sorry for the technical difficulties at the end, but hey, we appreciate you guys. As always, thank you for watching, and please tune in on anywhere you can get your audio podcast. That's Apple, Google, Spotify, Anchor, Odyssey. We out there. Thank you for all tuning in. Please go like and subscribe to the YouTube channel. And we'll be back Thursday. We're getting some new faces in this live stream. We really appreciate it. This is dope. We can expand this and keep going. Yes, Paulie. Dan Dog said Efron in the Commanders. I think that's what he did, man. He supposedly I got him in Baltimore, so maybe he's a Ravens fan. I don't know.
Hey, by the way, I'm gonna say this now, man. If they franchise Lamar Jackson, take it. Yeah, they franchise Lamar Jackson, give up them picks, and take it.
But you saw they lost to the Bills this weekend, right? I meant to ask you about that.
It's not Lamar's fault. They up 20-some points.
I know. That was a good game. It was a shitty weather too. Yeah. But a good game.
I don't understand why you don't kick a field goal, by the way. It's like Ron and Harbaugh both went the same school of dumbassery when it comes to kicking field goals and going forward. Like, why wouldn't you just kick the field goal and put it on your defense and stop them? In worst case, go overtime.
Yeah, I'm with you, man.
I don't know.
I don't know. All right. If you made it this far, man, hey, we love you. We appreciate you. And as always, peace and
So
hey,
train.
we out.